I've heard you say something about your Fridays, like you have like a forecasting Friday.
Forecast Friday, yeah.
Can you explain to me kind of like what you do on Fridays to keep up with yourself? Can you help me think through like how you keep up with your tasks and what you decide to move on to next week?
One of the main things I wanted to make sure to get out of today was my lead nurturing. Various ways of how to do that, whether it's through the email, through social media. What's a great way to do your processes better?
Good, so great question. What's your lead nurture process? What's number one? So I look at what were the wins from the week. So I'm typically gonna grab like three to five. Another thing I do at night before I go to bed, I got a journal next to my bed. It's called the Book of Wins. And I write down what's 3 ways I won today and what are 3 ways I'm gonna win tomorrow. Number 2, bottlenecks, friction, breakdowns. What are the bottlenecks that we have right now? Number 3, team system breakdowns or repeated delays. And then I can figure out what do I need to communicate to the team. Is this helpful?
It's good.
All right, good.
Trying to figure out how you managing all this.
How do I manage going through it?
World-class team.
How do I manage going through it?
Yeah.
I think Lake had a question.
All right. So my question is, how do I become like as or more like wise like you, Markwell?
Define wise.
I think just being able to like one articulate to people to convey a message that's like bigger than you, that's like really transformative. And I don't know if I just got more life to do to figure it out, or like what that looks like, because you like are super wise, and it's like how do I do that?
Thank you for that. So I appreciate you sharing that. So I think being wise, I think it comes from being willing to. So all right. So wisdom comes from knowledge, right? Knowledge isn't the collection of information. Again, that's something else we've been taught, that knowledge is power. If you read more books, you got knowledge. Or you go to this conference, you got knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. So people, when everybody leave here from today and go home and don't implement anything, you don't get knowledge. You actually only get knowledge by implementing something. Mm-hmm. So the Hebrew word for know, K-E-N-O-W, is to learn from experience. Knowledge is something that we created in America, like in the Western, right? So it says to know, you actually have to do, right? And when you do, sometimes it's going to work out the way you want it to work, and then sometimes it's not going to work out the way you want it to work out, but it still work out the way it's supposed to work out, right? Mm-hmm. Regardless of how it works out, you accumulate what? Wisdom. You get wisdom. Does that make sense? Because you're like, okay, I did it this way, that didn't work. So that's why with clients, we're like, hey, let's get this thing launched fast. Because we only get wisdom through getting it launched and seeing what the market says, not trying to perfect the thing. Let's get this thing launched. Let's get some data. This data is going to give us wisdom, what to say, what not to say. But sometimes we're like, well, I'm so afraid of saying the wrong thing. Well, say something, and then we'll see how it landed and if it didn't work. And then we get wisdom from that. But a lot of times we expect to get wisdom from not doing anything because we want to get it perfect. But it's like we literally have to do first to get the wisdom. So I was reading. So again, I was like Andrea, I'm not a Bible thumper either. It might seem like I know a little bit of the Bible. I'm an amateur on the Bible, by the way. But I'm a nerd though. I'm a student first, and I love learning, right? And I love learning and like really digging into stuff. And I don't like people to try to tell me stuff and it's like, all right, let me dig into that, and like so I can get some like actual understanding, right? So I was reading and it said Jesus became perfected, or someone became perfected. So I looked up like, okay, what does perfect mean, right? And perfect mean you become perfect by doing. So you don't become perfect before doing. You actually do, and through the process, it's perfected. But a lot of times we be waiting for it to be what? Perfect, and then do. But you only perfect through doing. Because now you can start refining it. Does that make sense? So I've had a life, I feel like I've lived like multiple lives, right? And through those times, I've made what could be viewed as mistakes. But it's like I get wisdom from it. These investments, doing this, like me and you talked one time, and you was like, if you didn't scale to that level when we had 40-some team members in the whole 9, do you think you'd be as profitable? We had a different conversation. And I was like, well, I had to do those things to get the wisdom, right? I wasn't doing it to get the wisdom, but I had to get the wisdom of building that way. So now I can share it with others that I'm called to serve. So you don't got to go do the same thing to get your own lesson. Now, some lessons we only learn by living anyway, but it's like I've just been willing to go through the process like imperfectly. And so I get enough to do. I'm like, my mentality is done, what's next? Done, because my identity was heavily in doing. So it was done, what's next? Okay, I got the information, I did that, what's next? Okay, I did that, what's next? I did that, what's next? And I was operating from affirmation as well. I want them to be like, dang, man, you implement fast. Dang, you do this. So I'm operating from this place of want this affirmation as well. So it's done, what's next? Done, what's next? Done, what's next? And through that, I was moving faster, right? Quote unquote. And I was like, okay, that didn't work the way I wanted it to work. But when I figured out that didn't work the way I wanted it to work, I got wisdom. Or that worked the way I wanted to work, okay, I got wisdom. That didn't work the way I wanted to work, I got wisdom. Does that make sense? So you get wisdom in marriage by messing some stuff up. Or at least what we perceive as messing up. You get wisdom as a parent by messing stuff up. I tell my kids, like, you watching me grow up just like y'all growing up. And sometimes I don't get it right. Like sometimes I'll be like, the other day I was talking like, listen, the other day I didn't get it right. I was this was going on. I ain't making no excuses for it, but I missed it. But I get wisdom from it, from a business standpoint, all right? We're looking at this happened, made these decisions these ways. I don't regret the decision, is what it was. This is what I learned from the decision, so I get wisdom from that. Does that make sense? Does that help? Yeah.
Cool. We'll do 2 more questions, and we'll get ready to wrap up. 2 more questions.
Like Johnny, like you kind of got a question, do you? Yeah. Hey, real quick, I got a special invitation for legit coaches, consultants, and experts. I want to invite you to a private workshop. It's virtual. Where I'm going to walk you through step-by-step how to install a predictable revenue engine into your business so you can attract, convert, and keep better clients for your business without working 60+ hour weeks, without losing money on ads, without creating tons of content. And we'll walk you through this exact system step by step by step. It's a 90-minute workshop, no pitch, no frills, no fluff, because I want to walk you through the process of like how you can predictably scale your business without burnout. So go ahead, click on the link. It should be in the description section of this video. Go ahead and go down there, go ahead and get registered, and then let's jump back into the episode.
I guess what's a great way how would you direct us from learning our processes better?
How would you say it one more time?
How would you direct us in learning our processes better?
How would I direct you in learning your processes better? Let me explain to me what you.
So for right now, like I can say, one of the main things I wanted to make sure to get out of today was my lead nurturing.
Yeah.
Right. So with all the different things that we're going through, and like you just said, we're going through a lot of these by doing, right? So lead nurturing, various ways of how to do that, whether it's through the email, through social media, it's just still what's a great way to make sure. So I did it. I got a few of them out, but it's that consistency, right? Yep. So is it, because all of them tie in and live and breathe off of one another. Whatever you're putting in email, you can also use that email set up for your post, and your post vice versa, and your videos, all that, whether it's still shots or videos. So it's just, what's a great way to do your processes better? And if I use that one for me for lead nurturing, what would you suggest, or how would you just?
Good. So great question. So what's your lead nurture process? What's number one when it comes to your lead nurture?
Oh man, now I just went blank.
It's all good. What's your lead nurture process?
Is create my content. Is have my content.
Perfect. So you create a piece of video content or long form text content?
Video content.
So you create a piece of video content. How long? I mean, how often?
It's probably going right now once a week, and I know it should be a lot more than that.
How many should it be?
I want it to be 4 times a week.
What has to change for it to be 4 times a week?
Me doing it.
So when are you going to start doing it 4 times a week?
Daily. So at the beginning of the week, and like you said, I'll pick my days, whether it's Monday through Thursday.
So where's it going to be?
Monday through Thursday.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're going to create a piece of content for social media?
Yes.
Which platform?
Facebook.
Facebook, boom. And then you got a process of how you go about creating that content?
From what you guys gave me, but I need to, I want to master, I want to revise that a little better.
You want to revise the process we gave you? Mm-hmm. Why?
I want to implement me into the process that you guys gave me.
So you want to take the process we gave you and then implement the process?
Yeah.
And when are you going to start implementing the process?
As soon as I leave here.
Perfect. Then, and when it comes to your lead nurture, what's your second lead nurture process?
Email.
Email. How often do you send an email?
That's my killer.
When was the last time you sent an email?
Last week.
Perfect. How often do you send an email?
Probably about once a week.
Is that how many times you want to send an email?
No,
This ain't judging it. You don't
No,
judge
no,
yourself.
no. It needs to be about at least 5 times a week.
At least 5 times a week.
5 days, yeah. At least
Monday through
5
Friday?
days.
When are you going to start sending out an email Monday through Friday?
I'll start this Friday.
Is that something you can commit to?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So that's your lead nurture. So your lead nurture process is I sit down and I send out an email once a day. Right? How can you make sure you do that?
Oh, just
How many of you have a challenge with like creating a piece of content and putting it out every day? Raise your hand. How many of you have a challenge with writing an email every day? Raise your hand. Perfect. So what's one thing you can do, Johnny, to send out an email every day and make sure you do it?
That's the first thing I do when I get up, or that's the first thing I do when I start my day.
So how can you
for
make
my
sure you
work.
do it?
I'll write it down.
Write it where? Do you use a calendar?
Yes.
Is it on
Put
your
it in my
calendar?
calendar. Yeah, so it's an appointment.
Is it on your calendar now?
No.
Is creating a piece of content on your calendar?
Yes.
But once a week though, right?
Yep.
So you want to do it 4 days a week now, right?
So I add it in
And when are you going to do that?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
No, when are you going to add it to your calendar?
Oh, today.
Perfect. When are you going to add writing an email every day to your calendar?
Today.
Perfect. And then when it comes to lead nurture, what's the other one? And is there another process?
Not right now.
All right, perfect. So those are the two things. So tactically, right? Tactically, nurturing your leads is creating a piece of content, posting on Facebook, and sending out an email list. That's the tactic, right? And then now then we take a step back and like, what's the system for us to do that? And we gave you the system and the process to actually do it, right?
Yep.
Because like people say, post a piece of content every day. Well, that's the tactic, but what's the system and how do I create the content, right? How do I create it? What's the structure of the video? Like, what's the whole thing, right? So now, and we give you the system and the process to do it, right?
Yep.
So the only thing you got to do is like commit to doing the thing, and then you just use our process that we gave you.
Got it.
And then over time, if you feel like you need to refine it, then you can, or you can just be like, I'm gonna just run the same process over again because it's a system that was already created and just given to me. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So a perfect example of this is you into basketball?
Yes.
You grew up? Do you grow up in like Michael Jordan era?
Yep.
So if I asked you who was the GOAT, you'd probably say who?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. So you would love this. So it took Michael Jordan 7 years to win his first championship, right?
Yep.
He had to get Phil Jackson in there. So he had to have the right what?
Coach.
Not only the right coach, he had to have the right coaching staff. Because Phil Jackson had a staff. But Phil get all the credit though, right?
Yeah.
Another thing he had to do was get the what? Team.
Team.
And then he had to have the right what?
Players.
But the players of the team, what's the other thing? A lot of times people don't talk about this. They had to get the right system.
System for
The system was what? The triangle offense.
Yeah.
Phil didn't create the triangle offense.
Nope. I forgot who did.
This dude named Tex Winter created it. He was on Phil's coaching staff. Tex Winter didn't even create it. Another guy who Tex Winter played for in college created it. But it don't matter who created it, right?
Yep.
It works.
As long as it works.
So does Phil need to change the triangle offense just to say he changed the triangle offense and created his own system?
Nope.
No, he like it works. Let me just keep running it. Like the people you serve don't know you got the system once.
Yep.
They just know the system works. It's like, this is amazing. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
So yeah, bro, all you gotta do is like take the process, do the process, and the more you do the process, the more you'll understand it. You only gotta understand it to do it. You gotta just do the process, and as you do it more, then you begin to understand it more and more and more and more and more.
Agreed.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Yep.
Huh? You don't gotta understand, you gotta do it. No, you don't gotta understand, you gotta do it.
Go.
I know Don like, what do you mean? How many of y'all like have a challenge with that? You don't gotta understand, you just gotta do it. It's like when you come in and flip the lights on, you don't understand how it works. When you connect the Wi-Fi, you don't know how it works. You just know it works. And you get the benefit from it. You don't gotta know how it works though. When you get on an airplane, 9 times out of 10, most of us in here don't know how an airplane actually works.
Put your hand down.
Huh?
Put your hand
Put my
down.
hand down. Okay, I can't see.
I know.
Does that make sense? So it's like you don't got to understand it. When a child is trying to walk, a child don't necessarily understand how it works. He just know it's to see other people walking. And it's like, I should be walking. And it just starts. And then it stands up and then it falls. And then it stands up and he falls. And he stands up and then he falls. And he stands up and then he falls. And after a while, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. But his or her legs can't get stronger unless it start what? Trying to stand up. Not even walking. Just trying to stand up. And his legs get longer every time they stand up. The legs get stronger, legs get stronger, legs get stronger, legs get stronger. And their confidence builds up. But they don't really understand it. And then sometimes you'll see them when they first take off, they're so excited, they don't even know how they don't even know how this is working. They don't gotta understand. Us adults, we always gotta understand everything intellectually.
For sure.
Right? Does that make sense? What we got Carmen and then Ashley.
So I just want to piggyback on Johnny's question, because what made me think about it too is, okay, he said he's going to put it on his calendar, do all these things, but that's not new information for him. So like there's something that is like not allowing him, or let me make it about me, right, to not put it on, or even put it on the calendar and still not do it. Or so like for me, it's always getting to, and it goes back, I think, to the identity piece, right, or the thing that we think the outcome is going to be, or for me, it's I have a belief that I'm breaking about the responsibility of greatness and the visibility of greatness. And like, I'm already feeling overwhelmed. And if it's more, then I'm even more, you know what I mean? Like and so I'm working to break that. So I guess just my point of that is to me, it's even deeper than just making the commitment of putting it on the calendar. It's finding out why you haven't put it on the calendar, or why you're not honoring the calendar and the assignment or the things that you put on the calendar. So if you could speak to that.
Yes. So let's go. So why haven't you put it on the calendar? Because you know to do it. Why haven't you?
I love that she just did. Mine was content. I felt like I had to create something new every single time. And as they were saying, I love that the way you guys, the team has, everything you guys do, there's content for it. Yeah. And there's something to it. I'm getting overwhelmed with, okay, here's my lead magnet, here's what I'm providing. How many more times can I say and do this without it becoming just not effective?
Every day. Every day. So my boy David puts it this way. You pick a song, you sing the song, and you never stop singing the song. Like every piece of, any of y'all watch any of our content? Like with me in it? I say the same thing every time, just in different ways. I'm saying the same thing. I'm not saying anything new. I'm saying the same thing. Does it make sense? How long you in real estate, right? Yep. And that's who you serve in real estate, right? How long you been doing real estate?
I've been doing real estate for over 25 years.
Bro, you know more about real estate than most people. You forgot more about real estate than most people know. Like, if I asked you to do it right now, you can create 15 pieces of content about real estate.
Yes.
For your audience, correct?
Correct.
Answering the questions that you know they have. That's all content. Why don't you just randomly hold your camera up and shoot the video? And then just shoot and then upload. This don't gotta be perfect.
I love it. You just made it seem a lot more easier.
You just hold the camera up and be like, hey, all right, so a big question I get from individuals who want to lock in their first house is this. So let me answer that right quick. Boom, 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 boom. All right, boom. All right, when you're gonna get a house, here's 3 things you want to consider. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, by the way, if you want to know, get my whole process of how to do this, click on the link, go get access. Hey, blah, 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 blah. Like, bro, you can do that all day long.
Hold on. What's the other part because he recorded it?
I didn't record it.
No, I'm saying
once you record, then you upload it.
Oh yeah.
That's the part.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't do that.
You carve out of time. And now here's the thing. Here's where overwhelm comes from. Here's where overwhelm comes from. Overwhelm comes from too much information, not enough implementation. So your information bucket is running over, but your implementation bucket is empty.
That's good.
So you're overwhelmed because you're continuing to put stuff in it, and it can't take no more. The only way you're going to take the pressure off of it, overwhelm is pressure. Mm-hmm. The only way you release pressure, or the only way to get some of the pressure out of it is like to release it. How do you release it? Doing something. We keep consuming information. Like, guess what? Today I ain't going to say nothing. When we get into these hot seats, I ain't going to tell y'all nothing you don't already know. Just like, that's where overwhelm comes from. Now, we good on you?
Yes.
So we good. So every day we're gonna be sending a video up. Now back to Carmen. You said I'm breaking this belief.
Yeah, well,
First of
I
all-
shouldn't say that. Go ahead.
But that's what you said.
That is what I said.
How long does it take? How long have you been breaking it?
For a while.
How long?
I'll say a year.
What is it? Is this a real, how long? Why does it take so long to break it?
I think because it keeps coming up. It's a belief that I have, right? And it's around, so it's an identity, right? That I can't handle the fullness of who I am. And so I know this.
So what's the belief?
The belief is,
Because here's the reality. If you want to break something, how long does it take to break something?
a minute, not long. A change.
If I want to break my phone,
And
what
I know
do?
that.
You try me. If I want to break this TV, what I do? Like how long? Like it doesn't take a year to break anything. So it's like, am I right?
I feel
You know,
you.
like how long does it take? We got a pencil.
Break
You
it.
used to play
So
pencil, you used to play
breaking
pencil
is
pop
not
growing
the
up?
right word. So
No, that is the right word because that's the word you use because that's the belief.
Okay.
So let's just stay there. Don't even modify it. So what is the belief that's hindering you from creating the content and doing what you know to do?
That when my business is successful, it'll be way too much work to handle. That I'll be overworked.
Is your business not already successful?
Yes,
Can you handle it?
I'm doing it.
You're probably like, whoa, 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 Marquel, slow down. If you're enjoying the show so far, you may be wondering, how do you actually become a guest? Now, this isn't a platform where anybody can just get on. You gotta be in a specific area of your business where we can really do a solid deep dive. If you wanna be a guest on an upcoming episode, all you gotta do is go to strategicscaleguest.com. Strategicscaleguest.com. There is an application process, so go over there, answer a couple simple questions, watch the quick video that I have there, answer a couple simple questions, and if you meet the criteria, our team will reach out to you and we'll get it scheduled and we can figure out if you're gonna come to our office where we do a deep dive or we come to your office. So go ahead, strategicscaleguest.com. Let's get back into the show. So when you say I'm handling it, what do you mean by that?
So I still feel like though I'm juggling. Like I don't feel like I'm solid yet.
So what do you need to do? What's juggling? What needs to be fixed?
I need to get support. I need to hire help.
Okay, so
I need to implement the system.
step number one is what?
Finish my modules.
So step number one is implement not even finish the modules. Because the goal ain't, how many of y'all know the goal ain't to finish the modules?
Yeah, to implement the module.
The goal is to watch this, implement, let us review, give you feedback, then we continue to implement. Boom, boom. So it's curriculum, connection, implementation. But it ain't like, I need to finish. No, that ain't the goal. Because you didn't join for modules. So it's like, I need to carve out. So what's step number one?
To make the time to implement.
Prioritize the time.
Right, prioritize time.
Prioritize the time to go through the process. Because the biggest pain point that you want to solve right now, what's the problem that you're solving for in your business?
In my business, it's visibility.
Visibility. Do you
and-
need to
and
hire help?
Lead generation.
Perfect. So lead generation and visibility. Do you need to hire help for that?
No,
What do you need to do? What do you have to do?
be visible and generate lead.
And how do we do that? How do we do that?
Follow the system.
Get the system live, right? So what do you feel like you're juggling?
I think I have multiple things in my business. I think that's part of it. I don't have a focused one thing. I do two things really in my business.
Okay.
And so one is taking up more time than the other.
What's the first thing?
The first thing I do is, well, the one that's taking up the most time now is like the consulting work I'm doing with teams and organizations.
And that's what you want to focus on.
No,
What do you want? What's the other thing?
the focus is helping women to hear from God clearly, walk boldly in who God called them to be.
And that's the real work you want to do.
That's the work. Well, both is the work that I do.
What's the real work you want to do? Because the first thing I asked you, you said this thing is taking up my focus, but here's the other thing that I really want to do.
I want to do both.
So you want to do both?
Yeah. And,
Got it.
and I do them well and love them both.
So you love them both, you want to do them both.
And the gift operates in both.
And you need visibility in both?
More so in the one with the women. Yeah. The other one has been happening word of mouth.
So action step, what do you have to do?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah,
What do you have to do to start getting some visibility on that one? Launch the system, right?
Yep. Launch
You
the
need to carve out the
system.
time to do it.
Yes.
How soon are you going to do that?
Today.
And the biggest reason you said you haven't done because you have a fear of like, what if it's successful?
Yeah. And then like I gotta then start hiring and managing
And you don't want to hire a manager.
I do. I mean, I know I can and I'm able. It just feels like a lot right now.
It is a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is it, so it's a lot now.
But what I also know is like I'll be the me I need to be when that happens. You know what I mean? Like,
Who are you now?
I'm her now. I guess what I'm saying about that, I have the capacity. So my capacity of who I am will have grown.
And you grow into what?
Say that one more time.
You grow into what?
Into who I am.
You grow into capacity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you don't need the capacity now.
Right. I know. I know that here, but it still sometimes blocks. So
But it doesn't.
Like
so
I
you
have
know
to have
it, but so you know it. It just doesn't feel good.
right. Yeah, and I have to have and I do the work, but I have to have conversations with myself to do it. Yeah.
And then when you have conversation with yourself, what happens?
I do the work.
Sometimes, or you let yourself off the hook.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Because if
Or
you having
or I focus on the stuff that doesn't cause the
stuff that feels good,
right. Yeah. Yeah.
and that's a lot of times clients do that, and sometimes that's why they hide. They'll have conversation with themselves, and they'll go back and forth with themselves, and they'll let themselves off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
So they won't even like come let us. They won't come and have a conversation with us.
Yeah.
Because it's like we're gonna like we see you.
Right.
We know who you are. But it's like your subconscious. We can negotiate with ourselves and let ourselves off the hook. I'll give you an example. Me and Kev was talking about this yesterday. So we're doing him, my pastor and nephew. We doing water. Monday we did an all water fast, and then and then Pastor D was like, "Hey, let's go to a Friday just fruit." So we like, hey, cool. But in your mind, you're like, man, if I have a little, won't nobody know.
It'll be all right.
It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Right? Kel was at Art and Garden yesterday getting smoothies, and he was like, hey, man, you ever had these salads before? Like these bowls? And I'm like, yeah. In mind, he like, well, I really only committed to the day. So your mind, you start talking to yourself, and you start
tricks on your mind, playing tricks on you.
and you will let yourself out the hook.
Yeah.
But he like, well, I ain't gonna do that. I told my brother that I'm gonna commit to this. So me being a man of my word,
Right.
because I am a man of my word, I can't do anything.
That is in opposition to my word.
So I have to be a person of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say I'm gonna do something, then I have to do it because I am. So if you say I'm going to do this, and it's like, let's take the power from it. So if you're like, hey, I feel like if this grows, then it'll be overwhelming. Is it overwhelming now, or you just perceive it to be overwhelming?
Some days it feels overwhelming now. Like that resonate with me that I'm not implementing. That's
You're not
why it
implementing.
feels overwhelming.
Yep.
So.
And then the cool thing is like you only you do it one bite at a time. You do it one piece at a time. Like what am I gonna do today? What I do today is enough. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna create a piece of content today. I'm not thinking about 30 pieces of content. But like, well, I don't got 30 ideas. We don't got to come up with 30 today. You only got to come up with what?
One today.
One. And then tomorrow you come up with another one. And the next day you come up with another one. And the next day you come up with another one. You only got to come up with one email today. You don't got to come up with multiple. And then you schedule it. And then you schedule it around the life that you want. So now it doesn't overwhelm your life. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
And then don't get so caught up in like, what if in the future I can't handle it?
Right.
Because now you're not present. And all the suffering comes from not being present.
Not being present. Thank you.
Tomorrow, you know this.
I know
Tomorrow will take care of it what?
It has troubles of its own.
Got troubles of its own.
Focus
So
on
let
the
tomorrow
day.
handle tomorrow.
Let tomorrow have tomorrow. Thank you.
Yep. Cool. Then that's it. Was that all the questions? Okay, Ashley had my bad. Okay.
Hey, I know I've heard you say something about your Fridays, like you have like a forecasting Friday.
Forecast Friday, yep.
And I've actually at some point done like your end of the day report.
Uh-huh.
I can't be on that right now. Maybe sometime in my future. Can you explain to me kind of like what you do on Fridays to keep up with yourself? Because I know at this point, I'm not going to be able to do a report every day, but I want to assign whether it should be every week, every 2 weeks or something like that. But can you help me think through like how you keep up with your tasks and what you decide to move on to next week?
So you're saying, what does my Forecast Friday process look like?
Yes.
Okay, and then you saying, And are you saying how do you do the end of day report as well, or are you saying you can't do that?
I'm saying I think it's a good idea, but with what I have going on, I probably want I already know I can't do 7 days following up myself at this point. Maybe
Why
in a
not?
couple months because I haven't been doing it consistently, and I'm resetting my schedule. So like next week I start a new schedule, and I'll have like 5 days where I could do more work.
Yep.
So I'm assigning tasks for those days, and I want to decide today whether or not I'm going to do something weekly or bi-weekly. But
Got it.
I kind of want to look at your process so I can think about what I would.
Okay. So to be clear, you can do the end of day report. You're just not prioritizing it.
Correct. And I don't think that I want to prioritize a daily thing right now.
That's fair. All right, so let's stick to the question you asked. All right, so my forecast Friday. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm actually gonna pull it up on my phone. So for those who don't know, haven't heard me talk about the forecast Friday. So I do to the best of my ability. I'm like, how do I model my life like God and like Jesus, right? So it's like God created the world, the heavens and earth, and He did something different every day. So I used to like try to pile everything into like one day, like sales calls or meetings or content creation is like just piling up the day. So I was like, how do I theme every day? So Monday is CEO day. So I call it Maestro Monday. So I'm doing meetings. So meetings are Monday. So most meetings are on Monday with very few exceptions. Mondays are meetings, right? Mondays I'm reviewing numbers. I'm like doing the CEO stuff. Because transparently, the CEO stuff is the less fun stuff for me, right? That's not my default. I like founder mode, creating that type of thing, right? So, but I know CEO until I hire a CEO, it's part of my role, right? So that's Mondays. Tuesdays is Transformation Tuesday, so that's coaching day. So coaching call days, those on Tuesdays. And also on Mondays, like any like partners we got in the it's all that's on Monday. Potential partners on Monday. Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday. Wednesday is Wellness Wednesday. So with very few exceptions, it's just like Wednesday. Yesterday we shot episodes Wednesday because I'm traveling next week, and like July is just like crazy. I think Kev traveling, and then we out of town next week, but we didn't want to get behind on the episodes. Yep. So we carved out time yesterday to make sure we get some episodes shot, and then of course we shoot one a day. But typically it's like I do this thing called a Wednesday protocol as well. I got this from Dre, and then it's essentially like in sports you have halftime, and in halftime when you go into the locker room or you go to the side, we're reviewing the first half of the game, right? So the Wednesday protocol is we're reviewing the first half of the game, the week. And we're reviewing what we are, what we need, what adjustments we need to make, are we on track, blah, 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 right? So that's that. So Wednesday in there. And I also changed how I do goals. So I don't necessarily have because again, I don't have control, and this is a shift I had to make. Yep. I don't have control over the harvest. I only have control over the inputs. So I have an outcome that we're working towards, an objective, like hey, we want to be at this amount of revenue, but it don't got to be in 12 months, or it don't got to be in 90 days, or it don't got to be this month. Here's the objective we're working towards, and my only goals are these inputs. 4 episodes a month, boom, or an event per week, once a month. Creating the content, our ads running. Those are the inputs that I can control. I can't control how many people enroll. I can't control how many people do. I can't control none of that, right? So I've abdicated myself from the responsibility of trying to stressing out about what other people, grown folks, right, don't do.
Yep.
If they're not gonna make the best decision for themselves, why am I gonna like stress myself out about it?
Yep.
I'm gonna just control the inputs, right? So I have my Wednesday and I'm reviewing that. Third, so typically I might, if it's might be a massage type of thing, we might go hiking. Just Wednesday is anything that don't look like work for real. The only thing I really do work-wise is Wednesday I have our enrollment team call. Wednesday morning, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty like light on Wednesdays. Thursday, and I'm optimizing for 20-hour weeks, by the way. So on Friday, which I'm about to come to, I'm looking at my calendar and say, okay, is my calendar showing more than 20-hour weeks? And if so, what do I need to optimize, right? So Thursday is Thought Leader Thursday. So I'm doing content. Well, by the way, on Wednesday, I'm also ideating for Thursday. So I don't ideate content and create content in the same day. On Wednesday, I'm ideating, here's the content that needs to be created tomorrow. So if it's writing copy, if it's shooting videos, if it's podcast episodes, whatever. Does that make sense? So I'm doing that. If it's modules for the members area, whatever, I'm shooting all that Thursday, and I'm making a list on Wednesday for Thursday, so when I go into content creation mode, I can just create.
Does it mean you're doing a copy on Wednesday for Thursday?
On Thursday, if I need to write copy or write
It's
emails,
gonna happen Thursday.
I'm writing on Thursday,
Okay.
but Wednesday on the list I'm writing, I need to write emails for these specific promos. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So at one point, I like had an email copywriter. I had the whole 9, but I actually, as we scale, I began to scale myself out of stuff that I actually enjoy. Does that make sense? So I enjoy writing copy. Because in my mind, I was like, well, you're supposed to remove yourself from everything. And it's like, well, no, not really. But then it got boring to me. Because I'm like, what do? I like creating. I like coaching. Because at one point, we got to a point I wasn't coaching none of the clients. We had tons of clients, but I wasn't really on the coaching unless there was like in our $50,000, $60,000 a year program, right? Mm-hmm. But I enjoy this, working with clients. Does that make sense? So I was like, but I removed myself out of it and turned like work. So on Thursdays, I'm creating content and podcast interviews. With very few exceptions, I do podcast interviews when I'm on somebody else's show on Thursdays as well. Now, if it's a situation where we gotta adjust, we'll make the adjustment. But generally speaking, podcast interviews on Thursday if we can help it. Fridays, Forecast Friday. So when I do Forecast Friday, we're reviewing numbers. So my CFO sends me like a P&L to review on Thursdays. And so I'm reviewing the numbers, that type of thing on Friday. And then also how much revenue came in, which I'm gonna give you like a whole thing in a second. And but it's pretty light on Fridays as well. I don't necessarily do meetings really on Friday, with very few exceptions. I don't really do like any real work on Fridays, with very few exceptions. Tomorrow gonna be very light, especially after today. Mm-hmm. Because it's gonna be intense, right? I love this, but it's also exhausting for me as well. But it's good exhausting, if that makes sense. So like when I get home tonight, I'm gonna be watching TV. I'm gonna have to turn my brain off, right? Mm-hmm. And do something. But because it's exhausting, but it's good exhausting. So I gotta recuperate. Because I'm naturally not. People think I'm a
Extrovert.
like, and I don't like to define myself as introvert, extrovert, that type of stuff. But it's like people when they see me on stage, they're like, oh man, it's like that's not my. Default. I can turn it on and turn it off.
It's not your default.
That's not my default.
Yeah, it's not.
I present that way, huh? Yeah. When I need to, I can.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like my default is like to myself, chilling. When I'm at the house, typically in the room, we might have company. I'll be down there smoozing a little bit. But they're like, all right, y'all. I sneak upstairs, right? And I'm upstairs. I'm like, you need me, just let me know. But I'm upstairs. My wife, she's like, we in line at Publix. I don't even like going to Publix. But it's like, we're in the store. She'll start a full-blown conversation with the person at the cash register. Like they know each other. Mm-hmm. Like, that's her. That ain't really me. I'll speak. I'm cordial. But that ain't my thing. I'm like, I ain't really big on small
you can't take it personal. Like, if you know him, and it's like more just conversational, sometimes he'll just be to himself and it'll almost be like he don't like you or he not talking to you. It come off as like real nonchalant. I don't care, but it's just him being him.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know I got to turn it on and turn it off in certain environments, but sometimes it's exhausting, right? Just quite frankly. The spirit get energized, right? Exactly, 100%. But my flesh is tired.
We tired, boss. We tired.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But it comes from the self-awareness, you knowing yourself, right?
Sure.
So, all right, bet. So now we get so Friday's Forecast Friday. Saturday is Self-Care Saturday, right? So it just depends. Like this Saturday, my niece having her Sweet 16. So we're going to be doing that, right? Mm-hmm. Sunday is Sabbath, right? People are arguing. It's not me saying Sunday is the Sabbath or Saturday is the Sabbath. I ain't arguing with that. I ain't even going down that path, right? To me, Sabbath is a principle. And the principle of Sabbath is rest. I know people who their Sabbath is Monday. They rest on Monday. That's what Sabbath, but people argue, I ain't going down that path, right? Mm-hmm. And Chris, if you're going to use this for content, cool, because I know the religious folks going to be in the comments going crazy, right? Which is fine, right? But I'm chilling, we do church, definitely no meetings, no thing, you know what I'm saying, none of the things, right? Hey, real quick, I know we're going deep right now. However, if you're watching this and you're a business owner, you want to take your business to the next level, you want to scale your business and have a business that can run without you, without running you in the ground, and you want to generate more leads, more clients, or you want to put the systems in place so your business can run like a well-oiled machine, make sure you check in the description section of this video. We got a ton of free resources for you. Go ahead and get those right now. Stop right now. Go ahead and get those resources, and let's get right back into the show. On Friday, Forecast Friday, here's my whole process. So I go through and it's like, what are my rocks? What are my rocks for the previous week, right? So, I apologize. What are my rocks for the upcoming week? Like, what are the things that must get done? Mm-hmm. So I'm jotting that down. I used to do this on Sunday, but it would take me out of my rest day because now I'm back to thinking about business, right? So I do it on Fridays because now when I do this, clean cut. So rocks, I'm going through my rocks. And then I look at what assets did I create this week? Because I believe we don't work to make money, we work to create assets, systems, and then the assets and the systems make money. So what assets did I create this week? Did I write an email sequence? Did I build out a webinar deck? Did I do this? Like what are the things I created? Ad campaigns, new creatives, right? Modules, whatever it is, like what assets did I create? Because the more assets we have in the business, the more valuable the business is. Does that make sense? So what assets did I create? Because most time we don't, whatever issue is in the business, it's a lack of an asset that's available. So if we don't have a system for this thing, it's an asset that's missing. If we want to hire people, do we got the appropriate assets in place to hire these people? So assets to create. And then I do a calendar review. My calendar review is reviewing my calendar for the previous week. Am I optimized for 20 hours or less? Does that make sense? I'm looking at the previous week. I apologize. I'm looking at the upcoming week. Yep. Because I'm forecasting, right? So, and then I review my to-dos. What do I need to do? If I got notes, I need to organize my notes. And I got my principles that I read. So if I need to update principles or update my morning success document, y'all know the morning success document we give y'all? So we actually use that. So I'm looking at mine. Do I need to update it? Do I need to change? What change need to make, right? What issues, and then I go into, after I do that part, I go into revenue snapshot. Revenue snapshot is how much cash was collected this week. Because now we're reviewing, right? How cash collected this week, new MRR that was added, monthly recurring revenue, outstanding pending payments, ROAS, if ads are running. If ads are running, what's our current ROAS, return on ad spend? Pipeline status, leads book, apps in motion, like where are we with the sales pipeline? So again, I'm syncing up with the enrollment team, like, hey, where are you with your pipeline? Does that make sense? If they're like, dang, it ain't updated, then it's like, that's something we know we need to do. Does it make sense? So that's under revenue snapshot. You follow me, Ashley?
Yes.
And y'all can stop me at any point if I got a question. The second part is KPIs and leading metrics. So this is going to be determined based on the KPIs and leading metrics that you track. So we got leading metrics and then we got lagging indicators. You got leading indicators and lagging indicators. Lagging indicators are revenue numbers. So cash collected is a what? Lagging indicator. But a lot of times we get obsessed with the lagging indicators and then we don't pay enough attention to the leading indicators. The leading indicators are the things that drive cash collected. The leading indicators are the things that drive sales, enrollments. So this is going to be different based on your business. Our core enrollment mechanism is events, right? So I love events. We can have massive impact, one to many. It's not for everybody though, right? So we track event registrations. How many event registrations do we have? Number 2, what's the show up rates? And typically I'm looking at day 1 show up rate. We track all of them, but we typically looking at what's the day 1 show rate. And our team knows this as well. So like when we did our last one 2 weeks ago, I think, B, my operations director, messaged me afterwards and she was like, wow, we had the highest show rate on day 1 ever. Because she knows that's a metric that we're looking at. Does that make sense? Because the team needs to know the metrics too, right? So number 2 is show rates. Number 3 is sales call conversion percentage. Number 4, email click-through and open rates. So my team goes in, my operations manager, she goes in and pulls those stats and we run the tracking so now we can see which emails are performing best. So now we can repurpose emails and these things. Does that make sense? So we're tracking this data. And then lastly is audience growth. How did the email list grow? YouTube subscribers, because we all in on YouTube now. And then also our strategic scale club community. How many new members did we get inside of there?
I have a question about your audience growth.
Okay.
We all know there's a difference between like visibility, right? So
Yep.
like how do you also track viewings in that area?
Yeah, my content guy, he pulls a whole report on like how many views, how many impressions, our content team, how many impressions did we get? So like we know for example, we had our call Thursday. That's another thing I do. Sometimes I do a call with our content team on Thursdays. So I didn't say that. But So on Thursday, it was like, all right, on our personal Facebook page, we got 1 million impressions for the last 30 days on the personal Facebook page. So they're looking at, I'm not as concerned with how many Instagram followers we got or how many followers we got on LinkedIn. Not saying those things aren't important, but that's not what I'm looking at on Forecast Friday. Does that make sense? Because there's so many metrics to track, but it's like, what are the metrics that matter to me to make decisions on? Does that make sense? The content team, they're looking at certain metrics from a, because you got macro and then you got micro. So I'm looking at micro stats. The team is looking at macro. Does it make sense? In certain areas. And then now they can see, based on the performance on this is decisions for them to make based on these specific data points. Does that make sense? So if LinkedIn is performing this way, that's signaling to them something they need to do. And that may be get certain more content from me about this. But they're looking at it, not me. Does that make sense? So even right now on our Instagram, we've been at 129,000 and some change for a minute. So we're dropping. Sometimes when I talk about certain stuff, it turns people off. Like people like, if I start talking about the word and all this, like some people get turned off. That ain't my business, right? I'm gonna do who I am. I tell people all the time, this ain't a business channel. Like on Facebook, this ain't a business page. Instagram, this ain't a business page. I talk about this stuff and take from me what you want. Unfollow or don't unfollow. Does that make sense? So those are the KPIs. But based on everybody's business, your KPIs and your leading metrics are gonna be different. Does that make sense? Y'all with me so far? Now, the next part of this Forecast Friday, and a lot of times people don't do this because they feel like it's not generating revenue or they're not working. But this is the highest leverage work. As a CEO, as the founder, this is how we zoom out and really see the health of the business, right? Number 3, and I hadn't always been this way. I used to be like, let's just grind, let's work, right? So number 3, and I had to learn that rest is actually work. Rest is work. Rest is productive. Because like you don't, even in the gym, you don't grow muscle under the weight. You grow muscle actually when you're asleep, right? You get taller when you're asleep, not actually walking around every day, right? Which is a whole other thing. All right, what worked, what didn't work? So I got to column what worked, and then, so I look at what were the wins from the week. Okay. So I'm typically gonna grab like 3 to 5. Number 2, another thing I do at night before I go to bed, I got a journal next to my bed. It's called the Book of Wins. And I write down what's 3 ways I won today and what are 3 ways I'm gonna win tomorrow. So I'm tracking the wins. Goes back to what Kev said earlier. So then I look at wins from this week. Number 2, bottlenecks, friction, breakdowns. What are the bottlenecks that we have right now? Where is there friction? Does it make sense? What are some breakdowns? Can I be honest with y'all? Can I give y'all a transparent moment? I mean, I only got I know that's what y'all want anyway. So like this past week, we had an event 2 weeks ago, I think, or last week. So that's not important. The important thing is some of the individuals that enrolled, and some of y'all can attest to this, you had your onboarding call, but you didn't get the link to the onboarding call, right? I know Trianta, a couple other people, right? And what we found was that we had to look, we're like, why aren't people getting the link? Because some people are getting the link. Well, what we found was when Billy was manually booking people's onboarding call, they weren't getting the link. But when they go through the process, because in the welcome email is a link to book their onboarding call. So when they don't go through a regular process to book their onboarding call, they don't get the link. So that's a friction point, because that's a friction point from our onboarding, which affects the client success side, because we're tracking these metrics. Does that make sense? And that's experience. So we're heavy on client. Our number 1 principle as a company is client obsession. So if the client didn't get their link, that affects experience. So it's like, what happened here? So we found that, okay, when Billy books them himself, they don't get the link because it doesn't trigger the necessary tag. So it bypasses the automation. Does that make sense? So it's like the friction point is like, we need to fix that. So we was aware of that because we're looking, is this making sense? Cool. And it's not like, hey, Billy, he's bad or good. It ain't that. It's like, hey, we need to make this adjustment for the thing, right? Bro, we love you going above and beyond. We know you want to make sure the client gets their onboarding call scheduled immediately, but let's do it this way, so that way it doesn't create another friction point on the back end. Does that make sense? Number 3, team system breakdowns or repeated delays. The thing I shared with y'all as well would go under that category. Are y'all following me? And then I can figure out, what do I need to communicate to the team? What needs to happen, if anything? Does that make sense? Number 3, Then I look at strategic insight. This is the third column. Strategic insight. How many of y'all like, man, it's kind of overkill? Yeah, is this helpful?
It's good.
All right, good. Is this
Trying to figure out how you managing all of it.
how do I manage going
Not
through
that
it?
world class team.
How do I manage going through it?
Yes.
It's on my calendar.
I love it.
So you can put it in a spreadsheet, but I got it in a Notion doc. I got it in Notion, but you can put it in a Google Doc. But I got it in Notion. So I'm literally reading from my Notion doc right now. So you schedule it. The way you manage it is you schedule it, right? How do you manage your money? You're like, okay, I have this amount of money. I allocate it this way. I know I got 20 hours to budget, right? How do I allocate it through the week, right? So it's like literally on my calendar. If I was to show you my calendar right now, I got a block on Friday that says Forecast Friday. It's literally on there, and it's a recurring meeting. 8 o'clock that night on Friday, I got WWE SmackDown, because my kids love wrestling. So we watch wrestling, and when they was able to get their games back, they started getting on the game. They wanted to do the game instead. And I'm like, hey, I thought this was our thing. It's like, oh, we don't got to watch it now. I can watch the replay. I'm like, all right, y'all know what we're going to do? Friday night, the games go off. Because this is our thing, right? Y'all got me into this thing now. I used to be on wrestling growing up, but you got me back in wrestling. So I want to see what's popping now.
I'm locked in.
So and I'm not going to watch it by myself.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, this is what we're doing. So we had to, but that's a recurring meeting on the calendar.
Yeah.
Tuesday's Bible study. So I got these recurring meetings. So that's how you manage it, bro. And now I don't got to think about it. It's on the calendar. It eliminates my thinking.
And it's non-negotiable.
And it's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You got to make it a non-negotiable. Does that make sense? So strategic insight. And I am a man of my word. So that's why I be, right? So I don't commit to anything that I'm not going to see all the way through. I'm not going to negotiate with myself. If I tell Kevin I'm going to do something, y'all ever been like, dang, I told him I'm going to come, and then at night when it's time to go, you be like, I really don't want to go. I'm a man of my word, though.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
Yeah.
I got to go. I'm definitely not going to stay all night. But I'm like, I'm at least going to I'm at least going to show my face.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? As much as I don't want to go. So strategic insight. What's the one move that matters most right now? Strategic insight. What's the one move? What'd I say? What's the one move that matters most right now? A lot of times we think everything is a priority. Everything is a priority. And a lot of times we think everything got to be done when? Now. Everything don't got to be done now.
That's good.
A lot of us haven't sat down and decided how long we're going to live. That went over some heads.
I gotta speak on that because the way that I grew up, I grew up pretty much in the streets, right? So most of my friends, by the time I got to middle school, either their big brothers was dying, and I just was so familiar with death that I wasn't planning to live past 30.
Me neither. My oldest son is not named after me. Number one, because I was in the streets and I didn't want his name tied to me. And number two, I wanted to have him because I didn't know how long I was gonna live. That ain't got nothing to do it now, though.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I've already decided I'm gonna live to 175.
Yeah. It's giving power of decision.
I've already decided. Like 175. Like if you read the Bible, it's people that live that long. I've already decided. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, if I know, I've already decided when I'm 60, I got 20 years from now. 60, I'm gonna be doing this work. I got time. I don't gotta get it all done today. I used to think I had to get it. My calendar used to be piled. I'm talking about smothered. No white space in place. Not a white mark. But now I love margin on my calendar. I love a space on the calendar where to do absolutely what?
Nothing.
That's the word God gave me for this year, spacious.
Spacious.
In all areas.
All areas. Margin is healthy.
Declutter.
Go walk.
Is your margin there because you're no longer trading time for money, or is it because your mindset changed?
Hey, congratulations on making it to the end of the episode. If you enjoyed this episode, you definitely want to check out the next episode that we got, probably popping up on the screen right here somewhere. And also make sure you subscribe to this show, and also check in the description section. We got a ton of resources for you to actually implement a lot of the strategies and insights when we talk about building a business that can actually run without you. Go ahead and do that right now, and we'll see you in the next episode.